Welcome to Hypnotic Talk with Miri and Neota, where we discuss all things hypnosis. Our individual practices have evolved into different specialties over the years, but we have remained connected through our mutual love of hypnotic healing. We meet and share our knowledge and stories from our professional practices. So this week, we will be talking about managing the magic expectations and discussing different things that hypnotherapy can do. Miri, would you like to begin?
Yeah, so hi. So let's start with what is hypnosis? And there are many definitions for hypnosis, but we chose to use one that is basically intense concentration or focused attention that happens while in trance, while in hypnosis. So your brain goes into trance-like state, and where its peripheral awareness is reduced and it remains focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
And then we also looked into the work of David Spiegel, who's at the Associate Chair of Psychiatry at the Stanford University School of Medicine. And he had tested individuals in hypnosis, and he notices that there are three main indications to see that the individual is actually in hypnosis, which is different than meditation or relaxation or daydreaming.
Right.
And what he saw, and then we can of course discuss each one of it, but what he saw that it focuses on different areas in the mind, and those areas first helps us to compare context and decide what is worth worrying about and what isn't.
Yeah.
Another area that it helps us create harmonized connections between our mind and our body.
Yep.
And the last area is creating disassociation that allows us, or that allows the hypnotic subject to accept hypnotic suggestions from the hypnotist without becoming self-conscious about the activity. But this is, Neota, where we wanted to talk about it and the difference between stage hypnosis and clinical hypnosis.
Yeah. So even though the state is the same, and as you said, it's measurable. Hypnosis is measurable in science. It is a scientific process, and it can be measured to prove or to explain when hypnosis happens. And the difference between stage hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So that's using a state of hypnosis for a purpose of healing something, not entertaining something.
Somebody.
Yeah. And so personally, I mean, Miri and I have been doing hypnosis for so many years, and I go into hypnosis without any trouble at all. I'm, with snap of fingers, I'm in a state of hypnosis. And that's really interesting. But what's a couple of interesting things is that I can, even though I'm so easily into a hypnotic state, I have never been able to be stage hypnotized. That's not saying that my brain isn't in hypnosis. It's saying that my vigilance is different than other people in suggestibility. And that's just personal. That's a personal thing. It doesn't mean I can't be hypnotized. It just means I can't be stage, or I've never been stage hypnotized. So maybe one day I will be able to achieve that, but it hasn't happened in the few times that I've tried it yet.
And I think it's also about the purpose of why you want to be hypnotized, right?
Exactly.
And people who come into a hypnotherapy setting wanting to heal something, being stage hypnotizing, it's not for them, or for some of them, because it doesn't have any specific meaning for them. They don't see why they want to do it.
Yes.
You know, if someone come in for pain or smoking or any other things that they want to heal or change with hypnosis, it's very specific issue that they want to work on rather than to entertain others.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is that self-hypnosis is such an easy and achievable state to enter, not just for me, but for everyone, really, because hypnosis is such a natural state. So employing a state of self-hypnosis to, reconfirm things that you've learned in your hypnotherapy session, or so going into self-hypnosis is relatively easy and natural, but self-hypnotherapy is also impossible. So it's the different applications from the same hypnotic state. So interesting. Our brains are so complex.
Absolutely. And so if it's so powerful and allows us to focus on very specific issue that we come in for, so what are the most, not most, but what are the things that we can do or change with hypnosis? And we're just going to talk about it very generally, but later on we're going to take it
We'll
deep
get more
into it.
specific.
Yeah.
But, as our friend Bob says, hypnotherapy can heal all of the things that are inside of you, but outside of your control. And that is such a huge platform of things that you can, from emotions, right? Like anxiety, anger, jealousy, like those things can be targeted.
Habits. Yeah.
Habits.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So, yeah. And if we're talking about what Dr. Spiegel was and his team found, and we're looking about the mind-body connection or improving mind-body connection, then we can say, like, if we're talking about anxiety, right? Once we know how to control or manage the physical reactions, sometimes we can also manage the emotional reactions. Same with sleep, same with infertility. And I think pain is one of the, it's easier to explain with pain because pain is something that is very subjective.
Right.
We are measuring pain on a scale of 1 to 10, how much it is painful. And it's very subjective to the person who's answering, who's in pain, right?
Yes.
But once we can create this harmonious mind-body connection, then pain, or at least we can take the suffer out of the pain. And this is, again, our friend Kelly suggests to take the suffer out of the pain and see through different perspective.
And if you think that pain is a necessary signal, like an alarm, right? Your body sends you an alarm telling you there is trauma or danger or hazard, or like pull back from the heat, or stop getting your fingers crushed in a door, or there's a health issue that you need to be aware of so you can address it. But after you've received the signal, after it's been diagnosed, you don't need to experience that signal anymore until it's something new. And so the ability to turn that off in hypnosis, or to take the suffer out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks. It's like turning your alarm off.
Yeah. Or at least selectively hearing it.
That's what I love that, Miri. What a great way to say it.
And again, going back to Dr. Spiegel and his team, the dissociation, the creating of dissociation can help with trauma.
Yes.
With anxiety, and of course, pain, as we mentioned.
Yes.
And knowing that not everything that is happening to us is something that we need to suffer from. So again, dissociation from the experience in order to change something, as you said, Neota, inside the brain, inside the mind.
It's like being able to disconnect your emotional attachment to something that is outside of your control. You know,
Yeah.
an event that has happened in the past, where ruminating or suffering or, you know, focusing on the pain, emotional or the guilt from a situation that is until we can develop a time machine, we have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
option with things that have happened in the past other than suffer or overcome, right?
absolutely. Yeah,
And that's something that hypnotherapy can help with. That's something that I help a lot of my clients with.
so important.
Yeah,
And another thing is that because in hypnosis, the mind is in heightened attention,
yep,
it can also help with athletic performances,
yes,
right? They need to be
yes,
super focused on what they're doing, but with it, they need to be in the zone. So it
yeah,
can help with any athletic performances or any complex tasks, basically.
right. Something that you're doing after the session, but getting the setting accomplished while in a like coming to see you for hypnotherapy and getting that setting, that in the zone clarity and focus in, so that they can apply it when it's necessary later,
Right.
when they can apply it in the game.
So our intention is to give tools to our clients. So it's not only do the change in the session, but also give them tools so they can copy what they did in the session and paste it into real life and real
Exactly.
situation and thrive, right? And change what they want to change or update what they want to update.
Or release
Um,
what they want to release. Like,
absolutely.
yeah,
Uh, Another thing that we can think of is because it's helping us to analyze and to be focused, what we like, and because it helps us focus on what we did in the past, we can also analyze it in while dissociating from the event, and maybe have a different view for the future and take it to the future and help with smoking cessation and weight
yep,
loss and unwanted habits like nail biting, bedwetting, thumb
yep,
sucking, hair pulling, uh,
yeah,
again, anxiety and trauma. And
absolutely.
also anything else like athletic performances. If someone is always injured at the same place or same location in their body, if someone cannot sleep well, then in hypnosis, usually they can find what happens and they can also tap into their own resources
Yeah,
and take it with them to the future and
yeah,
change the processes of what they're doing.
yeah. In lots of instances, we can do things like, you know, all the parts of our personality. So not that everybody has multiple personality disorder, but we all have multiple parts of our personalities. And we have those parts that hold us back or sabotage us. And in hypnosis, we can, I mean, we're going to talk about that so much going forward, but it's so crazy interesting to meet those parts of us in a focused setting and find out why they sabotage us and what will make them stop sabotaging us. It's
Yeah.
so powerful and fulfilling to achieve that.
And in next videos, we're going to share different stories from our practices, of course, with permission from our
Yeah,
clients.
and
And
anonymously.
absolutely. And we're going to share our experience with what we work in specifically. And for now, thank you for staying with us.
Yeah,
And we'd love to hear any hypnotic questions from you. So please write it down below. Please subscribe if it's if it was any of interest to you, or if it tickled your curiosity for future videos. And until next time. Thank you from Neota and Miri. Bye.
Take care.